everybody, and welcome back. Ray and Steve here. We are here with a new episode of the Card Historian. This is episode number 5. We are going to focus on card grading today. As you can see at the bottom, I have the episode titled "It's a Shame About Ray." Not because I'm a huge Lemonheads fan, but because we're going to be talking about my first grading order. Although I am a huge Lemonheads fan. And Steve is here, obviously, and Steve is going to talk us through it. Tell me if I did good, tell me if I did bad, tell me anything in between. And other than the one card that I've talked about that I got graded, which is surprisingly still listed in my order history, this is my first real grading order. So I'm interested to hear what Steve has to say. Steve also has some thoughts of his own about a recent order he had come in, which we'll hear about. How's it going, Steve? What's new, man?
I'm doing pretty well. Getting some orders back finally.
Yes, sir. So,
Supposedly getting one this week, so I'm pretty excited.
yeah, the last couple times we've been talking music. So now we're back to baseball and getting back into this. And so this was my literal first grading order. We talked about this. You knew about this. We talked about this. So I have it up on the screen here. So I'm just going to dive right in. So the first one I have on the list here, number 1, is 2022 Topps Chrome Wander Franco black and white diamond, black and white mini diamond refractor, excuse me, which is showing up on the screen. Gem Mint 10. I was excited when I first got back into the hobby. I remember you said to me before I pulled this card out, you said if there's a guy you want to get in this set, it's Wander Franco. And you and I were talking on the phone when I pulled this card out of the pack. So the fact that this came back at 10, I was over the moon. I don't think it's at where it should be as far as wealth or worth at the moment, but that's a whole nother side issue. Tell me your thoughts on how you think I did on good old Wander here.
Oh, that's a straight up home run. Uh, couldn't ask for better. Not to mention that Wander and the Rays, for that matter, are on a tear. They've come down to earth a little bit, but they rattled off the 12 wins to start the season. They have a scary good team going on over there, and this guy is a big part of it. And for it being his rookie, there was some overlap with products into 2023 just because of supply chain issues and whatnot. But first, this is a beautiful card.
Thank you.
I've not seen this card in person, but I've seen mini diamonds. I think it's a great idea. I believe there are 4 per box. So the odds of pulling one are already pretty slim. I don't know the exact production numbers on them. I'm sure somebody out there has figured them out by now. But, at only 4 cards per box, it's going to take you a while to pull one. Personally, and, I have no say in the value of cards, but I think this card, because of its scarcity and being a 10, I mean, this should be a $500 to $600 card all day long.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the market's been kind of all over the place. I mean, I know baseball's just getting underway, and that's kind of one of the growing pains with selling throughout the year. People got to get back into watching it. Apparently there's a whole bunch of USFL fans or something that aren't watching baseball right now, but
So
this is a
heard.
great card. I mean, you
Yeah.
couldn't have asked for better.
Other than being autographed or something, I think, like you said, I hit a home run. I was very, and I've never gotten a 10. So for the fact that that's the first card that was a 10, that was kind of cool. This second one threw me because I didn't think I would get a 10 just because of the color.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts on O'Neill, please.
Well, just to piggyback off that, black cards alone, and anybody's been in the hobby for any length of time know, black is tough. The littlest thing shows the actual white card underneath. And just going back to the earlier episodes, as far as getting into the hobby, this is why when you're opening stuff, you sleeve immediately when you get stuff like this. Just sitting around on a pile, something can happen. This is a very valuable card from an expensive, already super expensive set. So to get a 10 on a card that is black, which looks sharp as hell with the pirate colors,
Yeah, it does.
this guy is going to have a career. He's just, he can do it all. I mean, the numbers aren't quite up there yet, but he's young.
He's getting there.
Pirates brought him up pretty quick. He's going to be one to watch. I love watching him, and
I do too.
I don't see many Pirates games. When I do, I leave them on for him and Key Brian Hayes. I just love seeing play.
My late uncle was a Pirates nerd, and he did not hesitate in telling me how much he hated the ownership, but he loved O'Neill Cruz and he loved Key Brian Hayes. And I agree with you. I like O'Neill Cruz too, and Key Brian Hayes. And the fact that I paid $150 and I didn't know what I was getting into, and I got lucky, thank God. And I'm making that point specifically because, I could have just as easily pulled, what's his name? Your buddy from Arizona. Buddy.
Oh,
Buddy,
buddy.
Buddy
Yeah.
Lembeck from Charles in Charge. I could have pulled him, and instead I got O'Neill Cruz. So, I mean, I could have very easily taken a bath. And, I think I was telling you this the other day. I don't know that Topps Black is a set I would invest in, at least not every year, just because. Am I wrong? Like it's pretty easy to lose your behind with that.
Yeah, I mean, they're gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. They're gorgeous cards. This is more of what I would refer to as a breaker product.
Mm-hmm.
Breaker gets a case,
Mm-hmm.
sells it by teams. They probably double their money on their case or at least make 50% over what the case cost, and people get their players from the team that they either won or if it was random teams, however it's done. That's what these products are for. If you buy a box looking to make money, it's not going to happen 99% of the time. You could hit it huge. You get a
Mm-hmm.
huge autograph. Get some cards come back like this graded as a 10.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact is, you could have gotten 5 or 6 cards, whatever was in there, of just
Yeah,
quad A
wide open.
players.
Yeah.
Yeah, the checklist is actually pretty big for a more limited production set.
And I'm happy you said that because I think based on your explanation, I kind of fall into that 1%. And I'm not saying this is the pick of the litter for this set, but the fact that I ended up with this at least paid for the box, in my opinion.
Oh, definitely.
So,
Yeah.
and my second 10. So I was like, hey, I got two Steves. For those of you that don't know, we're calling 10 Steves now because Steve only gets 10s. That's how he rolls. And so, well, at least that's until the end of the episode. Then your opinion may change.
What?
Um,
PSA.
PSA.
PSA 10s. Yeah.
Fair enough. So we'll go into number 3. Now we're getting back down to earth, back where I normally live in the land of eights. And this is an 8. Not the happiest guy, but I don't care because this is staying with me because I'm a Yankee guy and this is Aaron Judge. I wasn't going to send this one in, Steve, because this is not an Aaron Judge rookie card. It's just an insert that I pulled. And I just said, hey, Steve, I like Aaron Judge. What should I send in? And you said, send in the Beam Team. And so that's what I did. And I like it. It's a snazzy card. Give me your thoughts on good old Beam Team, AJ here.
I'm still not seeing it being an 8.
Mhm.
I mean, centering with cards like this with no defined border is a little tough to tell, but
Mhm.
just to the naked eye, looking like at the center of the card,
Mhm.
it looks centered.
Mhm.
Um, I don't see anything to make it an 8. Now,
Yeah.
again, I'm not a professional grader,
Mhm.
but I mean, a 9 even I think would have been probably okay.
Yeah.
But if it's something you're just going to keep for yourself, it's sharp looking, it looks great in the case. So I think
Um,
too, I have a soft spot for beam teams because even back when we collected initially as kids, they were a thing. They started
okay.
in basketball, um, and
Yes.
to be around that long and brought back into the baseball product, I thought they did a great job with the art design on them. They look like a beam team card. I, yeah,
Next one is the unicorn of the whole thing for me. This is Adley Rushman, the superstar catcher for the Orioles. I'll be honest with everybody. I sent this one in rather than his base rookie from this set. This is 2023 Topps. This is just an insert, but it's still a rookie. I sent this in just because it was cool looking. It's speckled. It has color to it. It has the rookie insignia. The regular cards are just white. They have the weird white stars on the borders. They're not my favorite looking aesthetically, so I thought this would be prettier, aesthetically more pleasing. This came back an 8. Again, no border, so I don't really see it. Any thoughts on Adderley here, Steve?
I'll tell you from looking at it now and with the better high res pictures here, the front looks perfect. I'm looking at where the first two from 2022 is, and the last letters of his two names, and
Mm-hmm.
those margins look perfect.
Hmm.
Top to bottom, I'm kind of going from like where the top's logo is and what's underneath, like the line underneath his name. That looks perfect. The only negative thing I see, and it shouldn't have made it an 8, on the back, it is slightly off center left to right.
Oh,
It's kind of
okay.
really, to me, I again been doing this for a bit. Uh, the side on the right is definitely thinner than the left.
I mean, unless you're talking, murderers row guys, they don't really sell for much. And so this bad boy sold today for a whopping $9.95. So I lost money big time on good old Adley here, and that's going to happen. And I'm not saying this because I have sour grapes. I mean, I do have sour grapes, but I think the important thing to know, and Steve, you could confirm this, is that's going to happen. No,
Yeah,
no matter how long you do this,
and,
I'm
and
second
anything
guessing
done
that.
by a human has room for error. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not at all bashing PSA right now. I would marry them with the cars I've been getting back, but
Yeah,
I'm not seeing it on some of these eights. Like I said, that little bit of off centering, but to
yeah,
me, it looks like it's still 45-55, which is still around 9 tolerance.
yep.
It's not horribly so, and the front to me looks perfect. And I
Same.
have two of these myself.
Yeah.
That's what they look like. So either every single one is printed wrong, which is unlikely,
Mm-hmm.
although some of their quality control could be questionable at the moment. But which is why I didn't buy Topps Chrome from 2022 because
Yeah.
they butchered them. But yeah, I don't see it. That should have been a 9 all the way, and that would have put you in the in the black.
Now, obviously, I don't have this one anymore. But had I held on to it, would this have been a cracker or not worth it?
I might have because a 9 is profit, but then you have to look at paying grading fees twice.
Yeah.
Now he is like been on. He went 5 for 5 his first game, 4 for 4 last week. Like he's
Mm-hmm.
really tearing the cover off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
A 9 could still probably hit $100.
Nick Prado, rookie auto. So not anything to write home about right now, but he's been making some noise. Tell me what you know about Nick Prado.
I'll tell you, I caught a Royals game last weekend. His glove is astounding. Like
Mm-hmm.
the hitting's gonna come.
Mm-hmm.
He is again a younger guy. I think there's a lot of upside in this card. Um,
Yes, sir.
it could be one maybe to. I mean, you got to sell what you got to sell, but
Yeah,
there's a lot of upside that might, if it doesn't sell, it might not be a bad thing.
yeah.
Might get more money out of it down the road.
The fact that that came back a 9, was that worth sending in? You
Oh yeah,
think?
yeah. I think he has a ton of upside. The one downside is he plays for the Royals,
Yeah,
but they have a tendency of getting rid of guys. If he ends up somewhere in a year or two, like Yankees,
yeah.
Dodgers, Mets, hell, right now even the Phillies or Braves, I could see his stuff exploding.
Right. Cool, man. Well, that's good to hear. And
Yeah,
this was my official first autograph, so that was kind of neat. And so I was happy that I'm never going to complain about a 9, because if you complain about a 9, you're doing this for the wrong reasons. I think.
I think on that note, what gets lost in the hobby, people get 10 obsessed. And I get it. There's definitely a monetary difference. But 9 means it's mint. It says
Yeah,
right there on the thing that it's mint. I think 9s are underpriced. And
I do too.
I really hope the hobby catches up with that. I have no problem with 10s being an upper echelon and, you know,
Hmm.
grossly more money. 9 is still mint. That's basically what we've always looked for from way back until now. Were mint cards.
Yeah.
There was a huge dealer back in the 80s, Mr. Mint. He had ads in every
I remember
magazine
I
out
met
there.
him. Alan Rosen, his name
Now, yep,
was. I
his
remember him.
beard, little mustache, his glasses, cool dude. But mint is the name of the game. That's a mint card. I just think 9s get too much negativity thrown at them for no reason.
On to the next one here, number 6. This one surprised the heck out of me. And I just threw it in there just for the heck of it. This is Jazz Chisholm Jr. The reason I sent this in is because if you look at the back on the bottom right there, it's numbered out of 35, I believe. And so,
35 of 88.
or pardon me, 35 of 88, excuse me, thank you.
I love this idea. And I hope that this was Fanatics' influence now that they own Tops and doing some different things with especially chase inserts. These are not an easy pull in general. Uh, you can get plenty of the regular base 88 Tops anniversary cards. And just as a side note, each year they progress one. So next year will be 89 Tops, 90, and so on. To do it on the heritage stock, which is legitimately almost like, roughed paper like the old cards were in 88, and to number them to 88, there's just a lot of built-in value because these all-star cards inserts for the most part are all the top players. There are rookies and some might not pan out, but as far as regular players, all the big names are in here. I have one as well, and now after seeing yours, I'm encouraged to send it in. I have a Dylan Carlson
Nice.
heritage stock. It's a brilliant idea. I love it. It sticks right out when you get it in the pack. Jazz Chisholm, I mean, that is not a bad name to pull. He started a little slow this year, but the dude's on the cover of the show. He plays with the Marlins, but he's part of a very, very good young core, and he's the one leading the pack. So he's exciting to watch. Probably one of the more exciting players in the game. He catches a lot of crap for some of his antics on the field, but to me, it's fun. It makes the game fun. You should be able to celebrate a home run. Just saying. But yeah, I love these cards. Getting a 10 on that is pretty huge. It's a second year, but still, again, a limited number card. 10 can't go wrong. Yeah, this is the one I wanted to see.
Yeah, so this one I have a little bit of a story about. I don't know why it came up that way, but oh well, we'll go with it. So this is Michael Jordan, 95 metal, nuts and bolts insert. My father, who has passed away when I was a kid, we collected cards when I was a little boy, 11-year-old boy, and I found this in my basement in a binder, and Steve's suggestion, I sent it in. And I didn't care what this came back. This was just for something, for sentimental reasons. So the fact that this has been sitting in a binder in my mom's basement for 25 years and came back in 8, I'm not going to complain about that. I saw one of these in 8 just sell the other day for about $20. So, I mean, the value, unfortunately, is not there. But just the color and the design, it is a sharp-looking card. So
yeah,
give me your thoughts on good old MJ.
Flair metal in general, I think, was a great set idea. From a grading perspective, it can be tough, especially surface-wise on the front and chipping along the edges and stuff like that. But this looks pretty spot on. I can't really judge the centering because I can't really see where the name at the bottom begins and ends.
Yeah.
But it looks good top to bottom. Maybe on the back a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, I'm kind of not seeing that grade, just from looking at the picture. Still, like I said, sentimental reasons, awesome card, and it's awesome looking card.
That's what I like. The whole metal set, like you said, just aesthetically it looks cool. I also thought it was interesting, and I don't know, maybe you can expand on this if they did this a lot. The jerseys are different. He has, the home jersey, the red one on the front, and then the other jersey on the back, and he has a goatee on the back, and he's clean shaven on the front. Is that normal? To have two completely opposite photos like that?
I noticed jersey wise they did that a lot. I didn't know about the goatee though. I don't even remember Jordan having the goatee. I remember the mustache and the little.
Yeah.
But wow.
Overall, for my first order for 7 cards to get 3 10s, I was pretty ecstatic. Any thoughts on how I did overall?
Really good. I do think you kind of maybe got screwed on a few, but you got the 10s where they had to be.
Cool.
And that's kind of important with a set. Like, even when I'm sending in bigger orders, most of them are big cards. which I'll show in a moment. Um, but I also throw in stuff that might not get tens, but that I want for myself. Again, being a Mets fan, I'll send some Mets cards that maybe I wouldn't normally send in. Um, Although Pete Alonso is horrifically undervalued, everyone. Just putting that
Right
out
now.
there to the hobby.
Right.
The guy has 10 home runs already. Come on now.
Yeah.
You know. But anyway,
He's going to Cooperstown. We all know. Don't worry
exactly.
about it.
It's just it's horrible how undervalued the guy is. Um, but to do that, and especially when they have like the $15 and $16 sales, like obviously, being a Mets fan, have tons of Pete
Yeah.
rookies. I'll probably send one of each one in, the best one I could pick out of each one from all the sets that year, and then put them on my shelf.
Yeah.
They won't be the rest of the cards will make up for the order and maybe a little profit, but
Yes, sir.
with grading, it's quite all right to get stuff done that you like.
Yeah.
That's an important part of it. I think that gets a little lost in this kind of rat race of trying to flip and make money. Um,
It does, but I want to interject and I want to make a counterpoint to that. And the Adley Rushman is a perfect example. I mean, it's really easy to lose your butt uh, if 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 you make too many mistakes like that. And thankfully, I didn't lose the house because I the good stuff came back at 10. But in certain cases, like this one especially, because it was a 7 card order, this was $25 a card.
yeah,
So it's not. They're not always winners, but you know, I'm lucky that I have a friend like Steve around that can advise me on these things, and that's why we want to make these videos for everybody. So if anybody does decide they want to pick this stuff back up as a hobby, hopefully these videos, whether you love them or hate them, at least give you some kind of guide on what you should be looking at, because it's an awesome thing to get into, and it's bringing back a lot of memories for me as a middle-aged man, getting back into card collecting. But the whole fact that you could go broke in a hurry has not been lost on me either. So I wanted to make that point for those people out there. I'm all for grading cards that you have your favorite teams, your favorite players, but also be aware that if that's what you're doing it for, that's fine. But you're also investing in having a conversation piece and not an item to make money on either. So, am I being a little too over dramatic here, Steve? I don't know.
no, that's exactly why it's good to do that when there's sales.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I would send in like a Jeff McNeil rookie at $25 to get graded. I
Right.
just wouldn't. I mean, even though the guy, I believe he won the batting title last year. I could
Yeah,
be off
he's
there, but you know, again, a little bit undervalued. But he's kind of a quiet guy, sticks to himself.
yeah.
He's basically a contact hitter. But I would not get that graded for 25,
Mm-hmm.
15,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. So like that's would be the time to do it is when they're having sales. Yeah, or
Yeah.
if you need to do 20 to get a price break and you need 3 cards, well then maybe throw 3 in that you're going to keep, that you're going to keep, and honestly don't even care about the grade.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's still, you got to keep in mind what you're putting out and what you might get back.
Very true. And so we'll end my part of the episode with this, and then I'm going to throw it to Steve because he has some comments on an order that he wants to share, which I cannot wait to hear. I have a couple bulk orders coming in, so they'll be coming up in future episodes here. I did sign up for the PSA Collectors Club. It was $99. The reason I did that, for those that don't know, is the only way you can get bulk pricing is if you sign up for the Collectors Club. So for me, the $99 is worth it. Basically, you have to send in a minimum of about 20 cards most of the time. So it is a little bit pricey, but you're getting about a $5-6 discount, sometimes more per card. So you're talking $60-$100 discount per order, and I think that's what Steve was referring to. So those this first order was just kind of a test run. I was very happy with it, and I was very happy with Steve's comments pretty much mirrored what I thought. There we go.
Sports Card HQ. I think if you search that, it'll come right up. I'm not in any way affiliated with the company
Right
at
on.
all. I have nothing to gain by showing this other than it is a solid starter packet.
Right on.
And basically, just real quick, it has an expanding magnifying glass with light. It kind of pops up. You get some microfiber cloths and white gloves, jeweler's loop,
Nice.
and I don't have it in here, but also a card grading overlay for centering.
Right.
So everything that you need, it comes in one nice box. It fits back in there. Easy to keep, handy. You could definitely get higher end things to do all this as you get into it. But starting out, go that way. Get everything in one go. It's good quality. The price was ridiculously cheap for how good the quality was. But again, no affiliation. They're not in any way giving us money to do that. No. If something's good, I'm going to tell you about it. And if something sucks, like BGS, I'm going to tell you about it.
That's what we're here for, man. The good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think that's a really great place to stop. I really think this episode was great, and hopefully everybody that watches it enjoys it. Definitely like, subscribe, comment, like Steve said. Anybody that knows about Beckett that wants to talk about edges or anything, get the discussion going, and we'll get back to you. But we'll be seeing you guys again soon, either on this or on Counting Tracks. So make sure you check that out if you haven't already. That's on the channel, music podcast that we do. And as always, thanks to Steve for coming on and doing this. And we will see you guys next time. For Steve, this is Ray, Card Historian, episode number 5. We will see you next time. Bye, everybody.